Chipotle has just cooked up its restaurant of the future, and it's very digital friendly. Chipotle CFO Jack Hartung joins us now with the details. Jack, I'm so used to talking to you on earnings days. It's good to see you not on an earnings day. Take us through this digital restaurant. No indoor seating. Where is it? Is this a look into the future of what you might roll out across Chipotle?
Yeah, so it's in Highland, New York. It's very close to the military base out there, West Point, and we're very excited about it. And actually, this was in the works well before the pandemic, so that gives you an idea of how we were thinking ahead in terms of what digital could be for us in the future. But it's a unique trade area, and the trade area calls for a lot of meals that are going to be brought either through delivery or carry out to the base. And so we found this site, and it was the perfect site for us to offer a digital only format like this. And the cool thing is we also expect there will be a lot of large catering orders. And so we have a separate entrance. So if you're a delivery driver, or if you're a customer that wants to get a big delivery, of the catering, there's a separate access point for that. So it'll be an easy in, easy out. It's right adjacent to the parking. And we're excited about this because it just gives us another option in what we think is a growing option of different restaurant formats to open up to serve our customers in the best way possible.
And, Jack, we were just chatting before the break. You mentioned this was kind of in the works before the pandemic. It feels like it's a pandemic response, but this is something you've been thinking about. And, the business has really emphasized the digital ordering channel and the app over the last couple of years. Is this a natural outgrowth of that, or does it kind of work in reverse, where you saw this concept coming and you said, hey, we've got to improve our digital channel before this is going to work?
I think it's a combination of the two. And the way I would describe it is what digital has done, and remember, digital was growing at about 100% rate even before the pandemic. With the pandemic, digital grew 3x, so it's triple. But we saw how customers were responding to digital, whether it was order ahead and pickup or delivery. Certainly, the Chipotles, big response to the Chipotles. And so what this is, I call it the beginning of us stretching our restaurant formats. And so I wouldn't say this is going to be now where we're going to build everywhere, but what it does, it gives us another option in this whole kind of inventory of new sites that we can build. I would expect to see us build other digital-only sites that also have a Chipotle, for example. This one doesn't. We weren't able to find one in this area with a Chipotle, but that's another option for us. I think there's another option where we could maybe expand and have a small dining room. But I think what it allows us to do is go into unique trade areas, understand what the customer's looking for, and then based on the real estate availability, find exactly the right site and the right offering. And I think it's just going to be a wide range of things that we can offer to our customers.
Hey, Jack, it's Julie here. I want to turn to your numbers and costs in particular. I'm always interested in talking to you guys about the supply chain, in particular because you all have different requirements for your ingredients than some other restaurant chains. I, for example, visited a Niman Ranch pig farm years ago that was supplying you guys with meat. What are you seeing on that front right now? Because of the way that dynamics have been affected by the pandemic, with home cooks buying a lot more, in by and large food service ordering less. What's that done to your costs?
So Julie, listen, I'm so glad you were on a Niman Ranch, farm years ago. So kind of what we really do. We spend time on the farms where we cultivate relationships with, a lot of small farmers. Our supply chain's always been a challenge. And, you might remember a few years ago, we actually ran out of pork. Well, we don't run out of pork. We found it harder and harder to find farmers that would raise the pork the way that would follow our protocols. And so we've always had this challenge of, as we grow, to have this very unique and very special supply chain keep up with us. The pandemic has made it more challenging, obviously, because it's put pressure on the farmers, it's put pressure on suppliers. I have to tell you, though, our supply chain team, led by Carlos Landano, has done a fantastic job that with our normal challenges of having our supply chain keep up with our growth, and then the pandemic thrown into it, we've had very little outages. It's been spot outages here or there in a restaurant here or a patch there, but no widespread, challenges. Now, going forward, we're constantly, with the pandemic or not, we're constantly working with trying to work with our suppliers and farmers to grow with us. We're looking for additional farmers and suppliers to bring on board. And so that's always going to be a challenge, because as a growing company, we've got to make sure that supply chain grows with us. And so far, so good, but it's not anything we're going to ever sit back and think, okay, we've conquered it now. It's always going to be something we'll focus on.
Jack, it's been, to put it mildly, it's been a crazy year for the restaurant industry with COVID-19. Now there's talk of a potential nationwide lockdown for 4 to 6 weeks. In your view, what would that do to the restaurant industry, and what would it do to the Chipotle?
Well, listen, first of all, it's sad because there's a lot of restaurant companies out there. And in fact, what I worry about most is the independent restaurants. Okay. The entrepreneur who's a chef and the passion was to open up a restaurant, and they're going to be the hardest hit. They already have been the hardest hit. They're going to continue to be the hardest hit. They just don't have access to the capital. In most cases, most of their business is dine in. So they don't necessarily have the digital experience that we have. They certainly will offer delivery, but those are going to be at very high fees. And so that's sad to me. For somebody in this industry and has spent this much time, I don't like to see that happen. From a Chipotle standpoint, I think we're well positioned, Brian. We saw when the pandemic first started back in March and April, our digital business grew to 70%. So overnight, it went from 20% to 70%. So, and our customers now have learned about all the access points from order ahead and pickup, the Chipotle, the delivery channels, and we've got relationships with all the major delivery aggregators. So Chipotle will be fine, and plus we've got the financial wherewithal on the balance sheet to get through this. But I worry about the small guys. I really don't want to see, while it's a competitive industry and we want to win, we want to continue to grow. Everybody needs to eat, and there's room for all restaurants, the independents, the small, the up and coming, and Chipotle as well. So I think it's going to be tough on the restaurant industry. Hopefully this news that we got earlier this week on the vaccine will come sooner rather than later, and we can look beyond this pandemic.
Jack, in the 30 seconds we have left, how has the business been trending since we spoke a couple of weeks ago? Since we spoke, look, now we're seeing more lockdowns in many states.
Yeah, listen, it's too early, Brian, for us to tell. We're still in the middle of the quarter, but people do tend to be a little bit more cautious. They'll channel shift. So, for example, if they had been coming into the restaurant before, maybe they'll switch to an order ahead or a delivery. Generally our business, because we've got these different channels, is going to hold up okay. But generally, people they don't like to go out and about when the government is talking about shutdowns and shutting down dining rooms and the pandemic is, growing. That's when people are, they hunker at home more than ever before. So.
All right, let's leave it there. Chipotle CFO, Jack Hartung, always good to see you. Stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, guys.